welcome back to my channel. A big welcome to those of you who are new to my channel. It's so nice to have you here. I am going to be doing a skin tutorial using Prismacolor pencils. I am coloring in the Tales from the Midnight Masquerade by Hannah Carlson, and I'm just going to show you today how to create a warm light skin tone. And the reason we're going for a light skin tone and not a dark one is because of the color palette I want to choose for this page. This is the Queen of Hearts, so I want to give her a bit of a whimsical look to her as opposed to the Queen of Spades, which is a much darker complexion and palette. So I'm theming both of these pages with the same background, but I want to use a bit of reds and pinks in this page with a bit of white, and for the other page I am using more reds and blacks. So we will create a lighter complexion for her to kind of complement the lighter shades of red and pink. So I'm using Prismacolors for this because I'm still new to polychromos, and I want to be able to give you my absolute best work. So I'm going to take the light peach, which is PC927, and we are going to lay a base using the light peach, and I'm going to go heavier in my midtones and shadows, and I'm going to use a lighter pressure for my highlights. Now I'm using a light source that is coming head straight on to the picture, so my light areas are going to be here and here, as well as over here on the eye, here, and on the cheekbones here and here, and the middle of her neck. So let's get started. What you can do is go over the entire skin with a light pressure and then come over it again and just build up the layer slowly. So on this side I'm just going to go a little bit darker here, but I'm going to go lighter. Okay, now up here where her hair is falling on her forehead, I'm going to just build this up a bit more here and a bit more over here, because this is going to be my shadow and midtone section in here. Now you may be wondering, why don't I just use the light peach for the entire skin tone and just say that that's it, that's her skin tone? Well, the reason is there is a lot more complexity in skin than just finding one pencil and using that pencil to color skin tone. If you look at your own skin, you will see that you may have either a blue or yellow undertone. You've got a pinkness to your skin as well, and that's from the blood vessels in your skin, and the blood running through to your skin is what also showing that healthy pink redness and just life. So that's why we add a bit of pinks to our skin tone and to the cheeks, is because we want to show that life. But We also can have sometimes some blue where our veins are, or purple. We also have at times yellow or a blue undertone. Sometimes there's a bit of grays, and that all mixes together to create a beautiful skin tone. So when we're wanting to create realistic skin tone, we want to use those same layers of color, yellows, blues, sometimes grays or browns, sometimes reddish browns, and it all depends entirely on the kind of skin that you are wanting to create. If you are creating a lighter skin tone, you'd use more reds and blues and pinks as well as yellows, but you might go easier on the darker shades like the browns. But if you're doing darker skin, you will use darker undertones, so a light umber. You'd use the browns, burnt ochre, dark umber, sienna brown. You'd use sepia or espresso, and all of that will build up to create those beautiful African skin tones. Now, even in African skin tones, you have a variety of undertones. Some African skin tone has more of a yellow undertone to it, or an orange undertone, whereas other African skin tone may have a slightly darker skin tone with more purples and blues to it. Thinking of Ethiopian Africans. If you go to your Mediterranean or your olive skin tones, like Brazilians, for example, they have beautiful olive skin tones, and some of their skin tones actually is quite a dark goldenrod or a mineral orange and some light umber to it. It's not straightforward bright yellow. So you want to match those undertones to be able to create realistic skin tone. And that's what we want to achieve when we are doing our drawings. We want to mimic those various undertones to create a more vibrant and realistic skin tone. So that's why we don't stick to one color. So as our knowledge increases, so does our coloring transform. And if you aren't sure or you feel that you're not confident doing too rich a color, then just work within where you're at, and as you gain more confidence and grow, you will find yourself stepping out into those richer tones. There can be many reasons why people may not wish to push their pencils or the color as strong as other people. It may be because the pencils they're using are precious. They may have cost quite a fortune or a small fortune, and you may not wish to risk using them up too quickly. But with time, you learn that actually those beautiful and expensive pencils give you the best results when you push the color and you really layer up the layers. So there's no right or wrong. There's just understanding where you're at and working from there and taking it at your pace. So I'm sure you can see here I've actually gone very light, so I'm going to need to apply more pressure soon to my base layer and build up some of this. Otherwise we're going to be here a really long time. So if we come along here, and we're going to press a little bit harder and just build this up. Now I've gone and covered up a whole lot of things on her face with white Posca, and I've done this just to help me create a smoother finish to my page. Okay, so now we're going to take the sienna brown and we're going to go light for our midtones and medium for our shadows. And try and go in small circles as much as possible. And what you do is you just have a light pressure, and to build it up you just go over it like several times, and that will build up your pressure and your layers as well. Okay, now we're going to be taking Goldenrod PC1034 and we're going to put this in our midtones and our shadows. Right, so now I'm going to go back in with the Sienna Brown PC945 because I want to just deepen some of these shadows up a bit. And then I want to add in a bit more light peach, PC927. Okay, so now I want to bring in some pink, PC929. And then some rose pink, PC928. PC929. PC928. PC929. PC945. PC1034. Okay, so now we're going to burnish this with cream, PC914. Now, if this is too much yellow for you, you can knock it back with some great lavender. The purple neutralizes the yellow. Now, I'm not going to neutralize this anytime soon with great lavender because I really want to encourage myself to try skin tone with a bit more yellow undertones to it. Normally I look at it and think, oh dear, it's too much yellow, it looks jaundiced and it's ruined my picture. And then I put the great lavender in it. It does work until I go look at pictures on Pinterest or Instagram and I look closer at skin tone and I realize that actually some skin tones really do look more yellow naturally than I realize. So I want to finish the rest of this page off camera with and put in the hair, the eyes, the lipstick, and see how does it actually look. And I want to give it a fair shot before deciding whether it's got too much yellow for my taste than not. So here you want to press quite hard and go in little circles. Now, if you'd like to know where I got this skin recipe from, I got it off Kirsty Partridge Arts YouTube channel. She was giving free tutorial downloadables on her YouTube channel, and I printed it off. So I will link her in the description below, just so she gets the credit for the skin tone, and I don't want to by any means be taking credit for someone else's work. I'm just applying her skin recipe to this beautiful page by Hannah Carlson. I'm just using a bit of white for this highlight here. And I'm going to just continue just to tweak this nose a bit more. Okay, so now we're gonna just take a bit more of the sienna brown and just go to some places and just redefine a few places. And you don't have to press too hard for this. Just, you know, use your own feel and just decide how much you want to add, or if you're happy with it the way it is. I've found for myself with Prismas, when I blend out my skin tone, I often lose that crispness that I get with the shadows. So I like to just try and add it in again. Okay, so something like that. And then for her nose, her nostrils, just take like an espresso or dark brown, and just add in those nostrils. You could even use black if you want, or a dark 90% cool grey or 90% warm grey. That will also work quite well. Or you could do a mixture of them. So for her eyes, we're going to give her like a smoky blue eye. So I'm going to use slate grey. Then we're going to use a darker blue. We will use an indigo blue. So this is PC 901. And as you can see, the skin tone comes out quite light, and there is a warmth to her. And I think that this particular Queen of Hearts, unlike the Queen of Hearts in Alice in Wonderland, this Queen of Hearts is warm and vibrant and what's the right word? whimsical. Okay, then we're going to use a 30% cool grey PC 1061. And I'm going to come in with PC 1058. And we'll go over that with PC 936 slate grey. And to bring a little bit more vibrance into it, we're going to come in with PC 1086. And there we've got the smoky blue eye, which I think will work really, really well. Okay, so then to do the whites of the eyes, you're going to take PC 929. You don't want to use too hard a pressure because you don't want to make her look like she's got red eyes. You want to take a bit of PC 1061, which is your 30% cool grey. And then taking some black raspberry. In the eye here. Again, you don't want too much, and we're going to get rid of quite a bit now. We need a bit more grey, using 70% cool grey PC 1065. Alright, so before we define it with the black, let's use a white pencil, PC 938, and we're just going to just smoothen some of this out. Okay, so I've put too much red in. So just erase some of that. And that's what happens if you have too much pink. She ends up looking like she's been really, really tired, or she got punched in the face. So you really want just the tiniest of pink in the eyes. And then you take PC 935, which is your black, and you can redefine the eyelid. Okay, so we're just going to finish our eyelashes quickly. Then for her lips, we're going to make them pink. So I'm using pink here. Which is PC929, henna PC1031, dark brown PC946, magenta PC930, PC929, some Deco Peach PC1033, and some white. And then top it off again with a bit of magenta. Blend it out with PC928. Dark brown. Alright, and that is how we do skin tone using Prismacolor and doing a light warm skin tone. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. I hope that it has been informative. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment below, as it helps support my channel. I do appreciate all the support, and I will see you again in the next video. Until next time, take care.